Hey, good afternoon, Prescott, and welcome to Prescott E-News Prescott Talks. My name is Glenn Martin, and I hope everybody's doing well while you're in your house in quarantine and keeping away from all the other businesses that are out there. Hopefully everything's good in your household, practicing the safe 6 feet apart, mask up, making sure we have sanitizer. But anyway, beyond that, I wanted to do a show today, and I contacted Quang Nguyen, who is running for the House of State of Representatives for Arizona LD1, and I asked him if he would come into studio. You can see we're 6 feet apart, sitting doing all the CDC recommendations. Normally I give Quang a little hug, but you know what? We didn't even shake hands. So anyway, just wanted to talk about what it's like during this time in a campaign, Quang. Obviously, you can't get in front of a lot of people.
Right.
So I just want to kind of pick your brain and find out where you've been and what you're doing during this time.
This is the time where you start looking at the community and you start to find ways to help out. Obviously, all the meetings and all the gathering. I've done a couple of virtual town hall down in Anthem. Well, actually here, but it was held in Anthem. So I still get to meet a couple of people here or there, but as far as knocking on doors and going out for greet and meet and meetings and so on, they're all rightly so suspended. So we rely a little bit on the phone calls and the social media and so on.
Yeah, the old saying, out kissing babies and shaking hands doesn't apply right now.
No, not right now.
And so,
not that I would ever do it.
Yeah, but it's interesting. You were talking about donating your time. My wife and I were on a food drive for the Women's Advocacy Group in Prescott. Actually, we were in Chino Valley at the time.
Right.
And you showed up and gave us a hand, and we used your image a little bit on Facebook to see, come on out and talk to Quang. And actually, that was a very successful food drive, or actually I call it a supply drive.
Right.
Because that group, what they do is they help women who are in bad positions. If they're being mistreated at home or having problems at home, it's a safe place where they can go, them and their children.
And as an Arizonan, I am so proud of that group and what you and Jill are doing. And thank you for getting me involved.
Well,
and I tend to be pretty quiet about things that we do.
Yeah, you're very private in your life. I know you. I know Quang. Pretty good, and he's very quiet, but I rest assured to the public, Quang is out doing things in our community and helping. Even if he doesn't really bring them out, he's a little bit more private than a lot of the folks are. But I know, for example, a week ago, you were out Saturday, you and your wife, delivering food within the community, the people who were housebound. So
yeah, we're going to continue to do that. Bringing out homework to the kids. That my wife actually is a school nurse, and she took care of the same kids. And occasionally, they need to have their homework delivered and food and so on. Unfortunately, I don't know if our politicians realize it, but there are a lot of people that literally can't put gas in the car to go pick up food.
Right.
And so we're happy to be able to join people like you and like you to go out there and support our community in every way that we can. The campaign is not all that important to me at this point in time.
Yeah, it's, our area is very servant on volunteerism.
Right.
I mean, we have a lot of volunteers in a whole lot of different capacities. And it's really kind of, I love our community because during this time, there's been so many people who've stepped up to the needs of others. Even on Facebook, I was watching Quang, a lady came on and said that she's taking care of her 80-year-old mother and she has health problems and she needed some stuff at the store. She was willing to pay somebody to go get it. She didn't want to go out and get the exposure. And I got to tell you, I mean, it was like, there was like 90 hits on that one little little post,
Right.
people offering, hey, I'll help you, whatever I can do to get you the supplies you need. The outpouring is incredible.
Yeah, yeah,
the
even
community
it's
activism
amazing.
is amazing.
My employers at Zebrascapes also came to me and say, if you know people that we can help, please let us know. And everybody jumped in. The president of Arizona State Rifle and Pistol Association made the phone calls to me and said the same thing. I'll be happy to go out and help you, give you a hand. And so I'm getting a lot of help. And it's, to me, on the Saturday morning, you get out there, you get in line at the farmer's market, and it's kind of a fun thing for my wife and I anyway. It's an opportunity to go out for some fresh air and do something good for the community.
And speaking of Zebrascapes, I want to say thank you guys for allowing Quan, here I go again.
There you go.
I'm going to get a lot of hits on that
you
one.
got it.
I always say Juan instead of Quan, but anyway, having him give the time to come in and talk to us today, because I know you're working.
Yes, sir.
You're out there.
One of the
doing
essentials,
JOB,
and unfortunately, I made a Facebook post the other day. I'm still wondering why, who's sitting there indicating who's essential and who's not. I mean, the way I look at it is, if you got to put food on the table, it's essential. If you got to go out and buy medications, it's essential. If you got to go buy something for your kids, it's essential. So to say that one job is more essential than the other, or let's go to the extreme, some people are talking about mail-in voting only. I mean, I go to Home Depot almost every week to buy supplies for my home, and if we can do that, I certainly think that we could stay 8-10 feet apart voting.
Well, it's interesting you should say that, because there's from what I've seen the last week, I don't see a whole lot of leadership coming down from our Capitol we're a day away from the May 1st, which we're supposed to be
the expiration,
opening, right? The expiration date.
Yeah.
We haven't heard anything. I mean, a couple little blurbs I've heard on the news from one of the doctors, but I find it interesting, the silence, the cone of silence, if you will, that's coming down. There's a lot of people who are speculating, are we going to open? Are we going to go into phase one?
Right.
Or we're not? Today we just got the new update. There are 80 confirmed cases in Yavapai County.
Right.
There have been 2,321 tested, with 2,241 negative. So that gives you 80 confirmed and 7 are in recovery. And unfortunately, we've got 2 people who have passed away.
Right.
So
and that's too many.
Yeah,
and I totally
one's
understand
too
that.
many. I get that, but I'm one of those people. I'm over 65 and I have some underlying conditions. So for people who are younger and people, well, I know it affects all ages. First of all, I get that. But for people who are not as high risk as I am, I totally believe they should be able to go out and start making their living, following some guidelines, of course. I mean, not go to the movie theater and watch Star Wars in a packed theater.
Right. We actually have tape in front of our offices to keep people from entering the office. Right. You can stand right at the door talking to me, and we do practice that at Zebrascapes. Like you, I'm over 55. Matter of fact, I'm 57. I'm diabetic, and I also have severe asthma. So I have all these, but it's important for me to go out to work, to show people that, hey, I can be productive, I can be safe,
right,
and practice all the CDC guidelines, but at the same time, I want to work.
Yeah.
Because where I came from, viruses just don't mean a whole lot to us.
Yeah.
And by the way, speaking of where I came from, tomorrow would be the 45th infamous anniversary of the fall of Saigon. And today, I would be somewhere on Guam in a refugee camp, around 12 and a half years old. Yeah. So I want to take a quick opportunity to say, thank you to all who fought in that war, whether you're American, Australian, South Korea, Canadian, wherever you're from all continents, the Arvans in my country. You fought in that country. You gave us freedom. It didn't quite work as we would want it to. But I just want to take an opportunity to say thank you. And when it's all done here, I get to say thank you to all the 58,000 names on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. And folks, if you don't know Quan's story, very interesting. Go to his website. Quan came from Vietnam during the war, or actually the fall of Saigon. And he's very open about his experiences coming to a new country, experiencing freedom for the first time, and even the first time he was able to say the Pledge of Allegiance as an American citizen.
It's amazing. It was
it's
an amazing
quite a
thing.
story, and if anybody who understands communism, socialism,
Right.
it would be you.
Right.
And that's
right.
why, you are a staunch conservative. You believe in the conservative values, and if you're a conservative thinking about putting somebody in the House, I can't imagine anybody else more qualified than you. Right. I openly endorsed you before. There's 2 seats open, so
Thank you,
the one person I have openly endorsed is Quang Nguyen for the House of Representatives, because again, your background, your story, your experiences, you're the leadership that we need. Again, going back to the leadership in the Capitol, we need somebody who isn't afraid to make a statement and say, this is what we need to do. We need, and advise the people of what's going on. This cone of silence, as I call it, is aggravating to the people who are chomping at the bit, wondering, am I going to be able to go back to work and put food on my table or start getting a paycheck? Right. It's chomping at the bit for the people who say, am I going to be able to go to the grocery store or go to a restaurant somewhere?
It would be really nice to see.
We need some kind of indication, whether it's total, we're going to go into phase 1, or we're really looking at the data right now, but it's just quiet.
Every morning I wake up, as we had a discussion just before the interview, is that I always go online and look to see what's the latest message that's coming out of the Capitol.
Yeah.
And our local politicians and so on.
Right.
I haven't heard much. I haven't heard much from candidates throughout the entire state of Arizona.
Yeah, it's been just quiet.
Yeah, and I don't mind. I mean, if you're gonna vote for me because of who I am, and I'm not shy about telling you how I feel about it or what I post on Facebook. I don't even have a political Facebook, if you noticed by now.
Yeah. Well, again, a lot of the information that we're getting during this time is coming from Washington during the briefings, and it's again weird that I see Andrew Cuomo and the governors of California and different states on almost every day on Facebook Live, but we have nothing at all here in Arizona, except that I guess they're going to push for more testing. They did announce that they want to do a big testing push.
Just do a quick switch on you.
Sure.
I miss campaigning. I miss going out there, seeing people and shaking hands and letting people know where I stand. But more than that, I missed all the veteran functions that have already been canceled. As you know, I travel all the lower 58 speaking to veterans, and that's what I miss the most. Is that to not be able to go out there and visit all these veterans that have fought for my freedom.
Right.
And it doesn't matter which generation. And these are the same people that provided freedom for myself, my wife, my community, and my children, and some pretty nice paths been laid down for my family.
Hey Prescott, it's about 25 after 1 on Wednesday afternoon. If you have a question or a comment that you would like to ask Quan, by all means, just type it in the comment section. Our producer will get that question over to Quan, and we'll be glad to have him answer it as we go. So don't be shy. He isn't. Trust me. He'll tell you exactly how you feel. But we talk about ourselves and we talk about our communities, Quan. But again, I want to kind of go back a little bit more personal and talk about the families. I know your daughter is a midshipman, and right now they're out of school, and and how's she handling that? Because haven't they shut that down quite a bit?
Yeah, they shut it down, and fortunately, the IT department, set up quite quickly to get the classes going online. So they're taking classes online, they're having meetings online,
Right.
and it was kind of fun because I was able to, take a look at her, what she's doing, and not that I would understand anything she's doing, but. She's doing well. What she misses is the physical interaction with the other midshipmen.
Camaraderie, I bet.
Yes,
is
yes,
huge.
and eating together. All 4,400 of them sleep in one giant building, and so those are and a physical training part of it. And she's missing all of that, and you can see that they're kind of anxious coming back. And my son, unfortunately, is a video editor for an ad agency, but there is no video to edit during this time, so he's not working, unfortunately. So he's with us, and I really appreciate, because the kid put in 70 hours a week, prior to losing his job.
Sure.
So he's busy, and now it's kind of nice for us to have him around the house as well.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Someone to mow the lawn? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
I don't have a lawn to mow, but boy, the kid is good at taking out
you'd be there, huh?
Yeah, the kid is good at taking out the trash and doing dishes
Yeah,
and things like that. So no, he's very positive, and he's helping me out with a couple of video projects.
Sure,
for the
sure.
company as
Now, as far as your daughter, do you believe that they're going to go back in the fall at this point? Or
Definitely.
any questions about that?
The common sense, my common sense is saying that there's a new class of 2024 coming in, and they're coming in late June for their induction ceremony, and then after the induction, they have their weeks of physical training and so on. I can't imagine the Naval Academy would be missing a class because of this. So I have to believe personally that it's going to go on. And now I don't ask Sarah anything because it's her business.
Yeah.
What she does, I don't pry. But I can't imagine that we wouldn't have a class of 2024.
So your wife is a nurse for the school district, is
Right,
that
right.
correct? And so
Granite Mountain Middle School.
how does she feel? I mean, right now she's doing online classes for
No,
the
actually,
students?
she being a nurse, she no longer has students coming in, but she'll come in to work, whether it's handing out food or homework, assignments, and so on. So she's involved with the school as much as she can, but doesn't sound like they're going to come back anytime soon. So she'll have to start again in the fall.
You know, it was interesting to me, Quang, when all this started happening and people started panicking. Of course, toilet paper went and
Right.
towels went, and that's I don't agree with it, but I can see it. But one of the things that people had totally overlooked, in my opinion, is their personal health.
Right.
And maybe I would love to have your wife chime in right now. I'm sure Mai's watching us right now. Put a comment down. But anyway, there's nothing to get your immune system up during this time.
Right.
Would be critical. That was one of the things that the Oath Keepers taught us way back in
Right.
February, is start pounding up the vitamin C, the B complex, the zinc.
Right.
Get your health, get your personal health and your immune system up as far as possible. So if you are have contact with this virus, that your body can fight it.
Right.
And we see that a lot today, where a lot of the younger people, I was watching the news yesterday, people are giving blood for the antibody serum, and they had very light symptoms. And then you have people my age who, are on ventilators.
Right.
So again, I can't emphasize enough, if you haven't started already,
You
get
really,
that,
yeah,
get
you
that
really.
immune system
And
going.
my buddy Chris Cookneo, we have that mutual friend.
I've never heard of him before.
Yeah. He helps run my campaign too.
Yeah,
On top of
I know
that,
Chris.
every other day he'll call and he said, first thing he would say to me was, "Quang, don't get sick.
Yeah.
Just don't get sick. Be healthy."
Yeah.
So I try to get my 6 hours of sleep in. I gotta study. I gotta do
Sleep's
all these
huge,
things.
yeah.
And trying to eat right, trying to eat well. And like I said, I'm in that high risk group. But I don't wake up in the morning dwelling on that.
Yeah.
I don't get up in the morning thinking about, well, should I go to work today or not? it's genetically built in my system that I need to get up and go to work, because I think being outside is healthy.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I have a job that's deemed essential.
Well,
so,
staying busy is healthy.
oh, absolutely.
Because I think there's a lot of unintended consequences by
Right.
sequestering at home. You know, people get sick. They do things that they wouldn't normally do.
Right.
You know, arguments happen within the family.
Right.
Maybe drinking starts, going up. I'm not saying everybody, but obviously,
Right.
these are. And I read yesterday where there have been 6 suicides in Yavapai County.
Unbelievable.
So more people have died of suicides than they have COVID. Was that because of COVID? I'm not saying it is. I'm just
Right.
giving a stat.
Right.
But
Too much time
again,
on your
we got to
hands
stay
and-
busy as humans.
Exactly.
Not having the contact, we missed that part. But whether it's gardening or working in your yard or walking the dog or doing
Right.
something, keep off that couch and move.
Going to church.
Yeah.
That's no longer possible.
Yeah.
you know.
Exactly.
And I mean, we've been going to church online every Sunday.
Yeah.
And I miss the communion.
Yeah.
I miss the folks that are there.
The personal
Absolutely,
contact, yeah.
absolutely. And so at some point in time, I think our politician has to realize that, they need to come out, say something, right or wrong, say it,
Yeah.
commit to it, and say, hey, we're going to open up. But at the same time, I want to say that if you don't feel safe going out, I mean, we have every right to actually stay home,
Yeah.
to protect yourself.
Oh yeah.
But I should be able to go out. And, I do practice a CDC guideline. I walk up to a client's home because I'm a landscape designer. I don't enter the home. I don't allow them to get too close to me. Mm-hmm. We can talk, we can discuss, we can walk around the yard and see what I can do. But we do all those things. We can do it.
It's interesting. Again, we continue to look for leadership. We'll obviously find something out by tomorrow where our state's going as far as the
Right.
opening up or the phases that they're going to impose. But I got to tell you, Quang, I'm a conservative, and I'm watching what's happening at the U.S. level. At the U.S. level, the House isn't going to meet next week. They're going to keep it closed. It's just, I don't understand. We have got to, if we don't want what we see today at the federal level, we have got to keep Arizona red in the House, and we're right there on that tipping point.
Yeah, we're right at 31,
that's
29
kinda where I'm going.
Republicans, and
It's baffling when I see what the other side and some of their comments and what their non-action. I mean, it's
Right.
And I can sit back and complain and gripe all I want to. I haven't seen any real positive comments or what we can do better from the other side. I don't know. Again, I just
it's
it's
and I've been
frustrating.
saying this. I made a post on Facebook the other day about, if politicians have to worry about jobs and salaries and bank accounts, I think we'd
probably be better off.
be open pretty good,
Yeah.
pretty quickly here. So it's really easy to impose guidelines on your own citizen when you continue to have a normal life. I mean,
Right.
you don't lose your salary. I mean, you look at Congress, they make $174,000 a year. They don't have to come back.
Well, they make $174,000 a year, but that doesn't include all the
perks.
benefits and the perks.
The perks
and
that came along with
and
it.
the, and the Hawaiian vacations.
Right,
and
all that. So it's
Sure.
easy for them to say, you know what, stay home.
Right.
And what disgusts me the most is the Hollywood crowd and the professional athletes
Yeah.
encouraging us to stay home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't have your bank account.
We're not into this altogether.
No,
There's
we're not.
There's
not.
people who are actually suffering out there right now.
Right, and so
trying to keep the refrigerator full.
I'm tired of it because on Saturday we go out and we see people that don't have the means to survive, and you have all these millionaires on TV encouraging us to, we're not in it all together.
Yeah.
We're not.
Yeah. Well, Quang, I really don't have any more questions for you unless there's something that you'd like to state. Do we have any questions, Rob? Oh, we do.
We do.
Oh, great. We have one question. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what that Q meant on the whiteboard. Will Quang consider visiting Yavapai County Preparedness team again soon?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Jim, Janet, they were kind enough to invite me to come and visit the last time. So I would love to understand more. As a matter of fact, I believe I left a message for Janet to call me back how I can join the organization. That was a few weeks ago. And I would love to be able to get involved there. Absolutely.
Well, here's kind of a cool thing. Highway 69 Republicans have invited the Yavapai County Preparedness team to their meeting, if there is a meeting, on May 12th. So on May 12th, Highway 69, you can look at the website for
It's on
that.
my calendar.
And they will be there. Again, I will tell you, I was on Chris Cucnio's show the other day, and I said the same thing. I've been with this group for about 4 years now, and we have always practiced and talked about, scenarios that could happen. But they came out sometime in February, and they told us, this is for real. This looks like this might go down. This is what you need. Lysol spray, Clorox wipes, vitamins. They pushed really hard on your immune system. They've food, and so on, and N95 masks. I would have never bought an N95. There's no reason I'd have one, but I bought 5 of them just in case. And by golly, now I go to the grocery store, I'm wearing an N95. So again. They prepared a lot of the community for what was going to happen.
Thank God for them.
So
The information is
they
incredible.
were right, and hopefully people will come out and maybe listen a little bit more. It's not so weird to be a prepper anymore, Quan.
No, I've been that guy for a long
Yeah,
time,
yeah.
and then my wife used to look at me a little weird when I pick up like an extra box of ammo or an extra can of Spam or something.
Yeah,
And she would look at me a little weird, but I'm glad I am where I am today.
Right.
And I would encourage everybody to, you get a chance to learn something about these folks, please go out and look at the preparedness group, that the information they're giving out. And did you say May 12th? It's on my calendar.
Yeah, it's May 12th, I believe.
I would definitely go out there. It's the
it's
Highway
open.
69 Republican. If they decided to keep the appointment, I'd
Right.
definitely be out there.
Well, if you're questioning what Yavapai County Preparedness Team is, they are on Facebook. You can look up their Facebook site, and they're also starting a YouTube presentation. Jim Herrero has made 2 presentations now during this COVID-19 thing.
Right.
So a lot of good information there. So if you're thinking, what's this group about? Look them up, because it's a lot of good people, and again, it's just a group of people trying to help each other and make a better community. So I'm all in. So.
Great. Thank you so much for having me, Glenn.
Well,
it's
you know
always
what, Quan?
a pleasure.
Good luck on your endeavors and your candidacy. You're out campaigning. Anything I can do to help you, on the show. Like I said, I've already endorsed you, so I'm always willing to help any way I can, and just stay healthy, like Chris said. Stay healthy and take care of your family. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
I
brother.
appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, Prescott. We appreciate your time and watching it. Hopefully, again, your family's well and safe. We always like to end our shows with thanking our prior and current serving military for giving us the opportunity to be able to express our freedom and talk on these shows. Also, our police and fire department keeping our streets safe. Guys and gals, thank you so much. And all the rest of the essential workers, which we just got done discussing. There's a whole lot of you, and we appreciate y'all. And
Right.
and
Absolutely.
we can hardly wait to get this thing back to normal. So with that, we'll talk to you soon, and have a great afternoon. Take care.
Be safe.
Be safe. Thanks, bud.